Welcome, people. How you
Hey,
guys doing?
how you doing today?
You can talk over me. It's okay. It's not going to cut me off. We're just going to talk together. You don't have to stop. Just be
Look,
yourself. Just have fun with it, Kev. Okay, so guys, so this is something. This morning I got up and I said to Gary, I said, I got to do a show. There's no two ways I can leave this be. Um, what happened was the caucus was Tuesday, and Trump dominated. I mean, absolutely dominated. So the left had to be like really, really,
historical
yeah,
history.
historically dominated. He only like in order to beat the record, he only had to beat it by like 12%. He beat it by like 34. So anyway, um, so obviously like Rachel Maddow, Joy, I
CNN,
forget her last name. Yeah, no, Joy
CNN.
something, not Joy Bear. Yeah, Joy. I can't think of her last name. She's got
Yeah,
some
from
show on NBC.
yeah, Green,
So
right?
I don't
I
know. I
know.
don't
Yeah,
Joy. I'll find out because I have it up here now. I have a little clip of ours that I'm going to pull up.
yeah, I
So
know.
here's the
Yeah,
deal, okay? So here's what pissed me off. What pissed me off was this man won by this un, unbridled amount, okay? And yet they wouldn't play his victory speech because they couldn't let you hear lies. Now, here's what the difference is, okay? I want to explain this to you, okay? And I'm going to actually prove that they're lies, okay? I'm actually prove that to you in a minute. But here's the problem with that. They're looking at their voters as children. They have to protect them. They have to protect them. The Republicans look at the voters this way. Look at the two sides. Okay.
yep.
Look clearly at the two sides. See who's lying. Okay. In order to know who's lying, you have to have two things. You have to have a lie and the truth. You can't know somebody's lying if they're telling the truth. If you're just hearing one side. It's not possible. So you have to have a lie and you have to have the truth in order to assess a lie. Okay. So Joy Behar, I'm sorry, Joy Reid, that's her last name, Reid. You're
Read,
close. Green was
right?
really close.
Read.
Green was really close, buddy. I give you a lot of credit on that because it sounded right to me. Joy Reid. I'm gonna pull her up in 1 second, and I want you to hear her words. And I want you to pay special attention to how she does this because she's a master at it. By the way, you see my bird on my shoulder? It loves me. I can't help it. My other one's looking at me like he wants to come over on the other shoulder. I always wondered if one was on each shoulder, could they lift me? Anyway, so I'm going to show you right from the beginning. But before I do that, I'm going to assess her manipulation skills. Okay, I'm going to tell you how she does it. So what she's going to do first is she's going to tell you that one of Trump's representatives were up on stage, and she had a question to ask. She wanted them to go into what he's done because they always say he's done so much for us. And after she says that, she turns around and she says, like his, and it sounds like she's going to go into this myriad
Mm-hmm.
of of things that are lies about what Trump has done, and she can only think of one thing, and the one thing she thinks of is the wall. Okay, and so I'm going to take that point right now, and I'm going to let you hear it, Care, because this is kind of like this is absolutely insane. What she talks about here is that Trump didn't do anything. Okay, he let's see which one this is.
Well, they just had another guy on there that blamed the Trump administration for the border.
Well, hold on a second. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Hold
Yeah,
on a
that's
minute.
her. Yeah,
Right,
that's her.
exactly. Joy Reid. Okay.
I
So you
saw
have
it.
to bear with me. This is all new to me. I'm not technically savvy. I'm learning how to do all this, and I'm actually getting decent at it. But I want you to listen to her words. So she brings up the wall, okay, and that he said he was going to build the wall, and he never did. I'm going to show you through PolitiFact, which is a liberal media source. I'm going to show you what they say, and I'm going to show you how she manipulated this fact. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go. Let me put this on. You guys just listen. Here we go.
Woman who the Trump surrogate. I wish she had not just loved it. I wish she had listed it. I wanted to hear what she was going to say because I'm always curious when people say he did so much for us and he made America great again. What did they mean? Because the one policy that Donald Trump obviously passed was that massive, enormous tax cut. He didn't get the wall. He didn't do. I really am always curious as to what they actually mean by that. But I do.
Stop. That's all she says. He didn't get the wall. Now, okay, hang on 1 second. I got to bring this up. So, Hang on one second.
You're Looney Tunes, man.
I'm getting there, man. Okay. Okay, so here's PolitiFact. Can you see that? Here's PolitiFact. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. All right, so PolitiFact. The Trump administration built nearly 500 miles of border wall.
Yep.
Okay, so it says how many miles of border. This, by the way, these are fact checkers. And these are liberal fact checkers. How many miles of border wall did Donald Trump build? It depends on how it's counted. Here's where she got creative, okay? So it says, as he campaigns for 2024 Republican presidential nomination, former President Donald Trump is touting his previous administration's successes on border security and revisiting one of his 2016 signature campaign promises, building a wall along the U.S.-Mexican border. We created nearly 500 miles of borders. Okay. So now what this is going to tell you, I hope I can find it now. Anyway, replacement barriers. I don't believe I lost it. Well, anyway, so what it's basically going to say is that he built, here we go. It's right here. Look at this right in front of me. Trump's administration built 52 miles of new primary border barriers. The first impediment people encounter if they're trying to cross the southern border with Mexico that can block access either for people on foot or for vehicles, where there were none before. The administration built 458 total miles of primary and secondary border barriers. U.S. Custom Border Protection data shows. The majority were replacements of smaller, dilapidated barriers. Replacement barriers and secondary barriers that are behind primary barriers don't add additional miles to the southern border's total coverage. So he basically right there, it's telling you that building it or not, okay, what he did was he repaired. So they had like literally two sticks, like two broomsticks, holding up a third stick. No, really. And he went there and put a freaking 40-foot wall. So yeah, I'm going to say he built the wall. All right. That's kind of my my little thing about it. Anyway, so that's Joy Reid. I didn't even get to Maddow yet. Okay. So let's go to Maddow now. Hold on a second. Let's get to Maddow. Well, they truthfully are. They're very delusional. Hang on a second. Let me get to Maddow now. And you can hear what Maddow has to say.
I forgot the guy's name, but he blamed the Trump administration for the border.
They have to, because first off, Trump had the most secure border. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up. Okay. So they had the most secure border in history. That's just absolute insane. Okay. So here's Maddow. So now we're going to listen to her. Okay. Now we're going to listen to Maddow spout some bullshit. Here we go. Listen close. Listen close. What she's going to tell you right now is that you're not smart enough to hear lies because you're so gullible that you may believe them.
At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucuses has just started giving his victory speech. We will keep an eye on that as it happens. We will let you know if there's any news made in that speech, if there's anything noteworthy, substantive, and important. The reason I'm saying...
Are you having an earthquake?
Yeah, right? That's terrible journalism.
Are you having an earthquake? Your camera started going all over the place.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, maybe.
Hold on.
Saying this is, of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live.
You can't do
What would that be, Racheal? What's the reason, Racheal?
Platform to remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of spite. It is not a speech. If there's anything noteworthy, keep an eye on that as it happens.
I literally almost died.
We and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of.
Now, why would you stop that? What type of democracy only allows one side to spout their views? It's a democracy. Even if he's lying, let the people decide. We're smart enough. We know who's lying. We're looking at you and knowing you're lying, okay? It's not out of spite. Of course it's out of spite. You tried to get his goddamn taxes, and he made you look stupid because it turned out he paid like $10 million more than he should have. So you look like a freaking moron there. You've been trying to get him since 2016. You can't get him. You swore he would never be president. He made you eat those words. But no, it's not out of spite. Come on.
Of spite. It is not a decision that we relish. It is a decision
It's
that
not a
we
decision.
regularly
Do you
revisit.
believe that? It's not a decision. They not only relish it, they do it, they kosher it, and they garlic it, man. They relish every second of it. God, I hate these people.
And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision.
Oh, shit. It's not. Yeah, read this now. Hold on. Hang on. Let me stop this a second. Okay, so this says, MSNBC host Racheal Maddows has defended the studio for not airing Donald Trump's speech following his victory in Iowa.
What happened?
Hold on. On Monday night, Maddows said the channel couldn't air lies to its viewers. But not for nothing. But everything has two sides. I gotta hang on. I gotta close my door because my dog can't shut up. Anyway, everything has two sides to it.
You can't do that.
You not okay? So they couldn't air lies. They couldn't air lies because they've never done that before. They've been caught in how many goddamn lies? Everything from that kid, from Nick Sandman, to to every lie going to Avenatti, where they wanted him to become president because who was it? It was Seltzer. Brian Seltzer's like, I take you seriously, Avenatti, because you're giving Trump a problem. Avenatti's looking at 340 years in jail right now. Okay? Don't tell me about lies. It's not that you can't air lies. You can't air Trump. That's
right.
what it is.
Right. Yo, that's not journalism.
At this point in the evening, here we go. At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucus has just started giving his victory speech. Okay? So that's Trump.
No, that's not democracy.
Look at this. This is what you watch. We will keep an eye. We will keep an eye on. I think that's supposed to be. We will keep an eye on that as it happens. I'm sorry. We will let you know if there is any news made in that speech. If there's anything noteworthy, something substantive and important.
No. That's disgusting journalism.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Whatever happened to like the Hunt what was it, Chet Huntley and what happened to real news reporters? Oh, I got it. Maddows said MSNBC, among other news outlets, only care about reporting the truth. But what you should care about is reporting the news. It's not up to you to decide what the truth is. That's
right.
what they don't get. The news isn't about finding the truth. It's about reporting the situation. I mean, if you're looking at something along the line of like, a school liver scandal where the school is selling, monkey liver instead of calf liver or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
That you go after the truth. This isn't that. This is a story. It's a story that every American is interested in because every American has an American president. It's just the way it is.
Right. Plus she won.
Interested. It's not up to her. And if she was going to do this, if she was really going to do this, don't take the lazy way out. Sit there and stop his speech every time you think he lied, the way I think Joy Reid lied, and show fact that he's lying.
That's right.
To me, that's someone who actually knows what they do. Anyway, so listen now. The reason I'm saying this is, of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. It's not unfiltered. There's no platform. It's no platform. It's not an unfiltered live platform. Unfiltered, you give him a 5-second delay, 10-second delay. Where if he says something you don't like, you stop it and you go. They don't want you to hear one word of his because he makes sense, and they don't. Okay, he makes sense, and they don't. Right. That's what it is. Don't kid yourself.
As a matter of fact, yo, brother.
Yo.
Did you see when John Kerry?
Yeah. What part?
When John Kerry went to Switzerland, and the reporter asked him, "So why do you, because you fly your plane here?"
Right.
And he told them that's a stupid question. You shouldn't be asking a stupid question.
Right. You know what it is, dude? Honestly, they had
Not a stupid question.
Well, they had a climate conference or something a couple of years back, like 2 years back or something.
Yep.
And all of these people, like from Leonardo DiCaprio and this guy, and they all went on their private planes. Dude, they all could have taken one plane, but instead they all took, I think, like 100-something planes or something. Their carbon footprint was the size of like a country.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a country. It wasn't even. They talk two sides of their ass. It's got nothing to do.
That was a good question by the reporter, because
great question.
He's talking about climate change, and meanwhile he's flying his jet over there.
Yeah. As long as he's luxuriously kept well, and like not for nothing, but this guy's like mega bucks without the politics.
Right.
This guy, I think he's married to like the heir of Heinz ketchup or something like that.
Right.
He's just an idiot. Now all of a sudden the climate doesn't matter. He just stepped down as climate czar. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He just okay. So all of a sudden climate doesn't matter. All that matters is we get Biden elected again. Let's figure out why. How did he get his money? From Biden. Who made him a climate czar? Biden. If Biden comes out, what does he lose? His job. So Biden gets reelected. He goes back to climate czar and gets to fly all around on his private plane and tell everybody how bad they are for having hamburgers.
Right.
It's absurd, man. It's absolutely absurd.
Right.
They're such fucking hypocrites. It drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
you know who they're going after now? You know who the activists going after now?
What?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, that's the thing. See, I've been saying this, and I wonder if I should I got to hook up my microphone so it's right in front of me, because I don't think I'm projecting as well as I should. But it's funny, Kerry, because I've said this almost every single show we've done, except like ones that didn't deal with politics. But eventually they have to eat themselves, because they all want. See, it's so far beyond what you
know why?
These people.
Every time she was going to the see her boyfriend play the Chiefs game.
Right.
She was
flying.
She took her jet.
Right. Well, that's just it. It's all great while you're saying about somebody else. When it comes to you, it's something different. And this is what the real problem is. Now I'm going to take it really deep. I'm going to take it to a psychological level here, because that's really what it is. It has nothing to do. I'm sorry. Hold on. I just lost my headphone. Anyway, it has nothing to do.
Yeah, I got mine too.
With 90%, okay, it's so much nicer. With 90% of these people who call themselves climate activists, it's got nothing to do with that. It's all about, I've got to feel special. This is what it is, okay? So let's say you got one climate person named Johnny and another climate person named Jane. So Johnny comes up with something about the climate that's not right, that we got to change. Well, that's not good enough for Jane. Jane's got to now take Johnny's attention. So she's got to go a step further. So every step goes a step further. I'll give you a great example, okay? A great example is my building, okay? My building wanted to go smokeless. And, it sounds like a great idea. Smokeless, everybody's going to vote for smokeless. It's got it because it's bad health and stuff. It's a slippery slope. Because once you give them the smoke ban, the next thing might be pets, and that affects you. So you may not be a smoker, but you might own pets, and that's what they'll go after next. You got to stop it. Listen, it's personal freedoms. That's what it is. It's personal decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke weed. That's the way it is. I know what I do. I like what I do.
That's right.
Could I do it by a window? It wouldn't bother me the slightest, but I still would never vote for a smoke ban. I wouldn't vote for a ban on anything, really. I mean, unless it was something like, don't leave your food scraps, something like that affects, personal, that affects, like rodents and stuff like that. Right. But as far as what you do in your house, that's your business, okay? You want to go smoke cigars after dinner? Go have fun. You want to smoke a turkey? Go ahead, have fun. I don't care what you do in your house. But don't ask me to ban what somebody else can do in their house. Because that's not my business.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but it's the same thing. And then what happens is eventually it's like, so the other day I ran out of bamboo and I had to run across the street to one of these candy stores. And while I'm in there, there's a guy in there, and I swear to you, dude, I'm not even kidding. The guy looks like the young kid from Hot Tub Time Machine 2. I don't know his name. I think his name's Adam something or other. But he's a young kid. He's like one of the ones that he wasn't in the first one. He was in the second one only. And the second one's all about him. Guy looked just like him, I swear to God. And you can tell this guy was totally liberal, a little drugged out, like I would have said blow or something like that. But he was pretty intelligent overall, I have to be honest. So I'm standing and I'm telling him, like, what's going to happen? Like, we're talking about taxes, right? He hates Trump, of course. And Trump never paid a dime in taxes his entire life. So I said, but you don't understand. They're going after all of the billionaires and stuff with these high taxes. And he goes, well, they should. And I said, but what happens when they move and the taxes aren't there? Well, that doesn't matter. What you don't realize is that they pay 94 to 96% of your overall tax. Okay? So the rest of us all only take care of about 6% of taxes. That's it. Okay? No, you're wrong. You're wrong. For like I'm not even joking, like 20 minutes, he stood there arguing with me.
Yeah,
and
he knows what he's talking about.
No, you're wrong. I said, you got your phone? Look it up. So he's trying to look it up, and he keeps putting in. I think at that point he realized I was right, and he was putting in questions that weren't going to get him answers. So I found him and said, put in how much does the upper 5% of earners pay in taxes? What's the percentage overall? He put it in. He turns around to me and goes, you're right. Yes, I'm right. Yes. You don't understand. I wouldn't say something unless I know. My favorite words are I don't know. Okay? I love being able to say that. I hate knowing shit. Okay? Because then I got to prove to people the shit I know is true.
Right.
And because they don't believe it because it's not their belief. I relish the idea, as she would put it, in telling somebody, I don't know. Because then I can just stop the conversation. But in certain situations, I know. And there's no way around it. And the problem, the big problem is that as a liberal, when you come up with these rules for everybody else, at some point they will apply to you. And that's what people don't understand. That when they come up with their rule, like, oh, I could live with that. But you don't understand. It's like, remember that game, phone, Kara, remember that game telephone where I say to you, hello, and then you go, hello, John, hello. Or I give you a sentence, hello, Kerry. By the time it gets back to me, it's a totally different sentence.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So they come up with, don't have cows fart, By the time it gets back to you, by the time it gets back to you, it's like, get your stove out of the kitchen. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't have a stove in the kitchen from cow farting. I don't understand how it gets there.
Yo, that's what they want to take away air conditioners too.
Yeah, I mean, what are you, nuts? I mean, come on. Did we not learn? And so what about these EVs now? So Iowa and them, there was a big thing on Iowa, on Iowa because of the caucuses. And it turns out it dropped to 26 below zero. Talk about timing, huh? People couldn't get their freaking Teslas going because the battery won't work in that degree. The other thing they don't tell you about, wait, listen to this. The other thing they don't tell you about the Teslas is that if you go to bed today, right, and you have 30% on your Tesla and it drops below 50 degrees, when you wake up in the morning, you will have 10% because your car will automatically try to keep the battery warm and use the energy to do that.
Yo, they didn't figure out that we were going to get a winter. That's
in
Chicago.
That's the point, dude. You're saying that, but look at Texas, man. Look what happened to Texas a couple of years back. They went off the grid. They went totally solar and wind, and what happened? People fucking died. Why? Because of a snowstorm. You don't think it's going to snow at some point? I don't care where you are. At some point, it's going to snow.
Well, that was in Chicago where all the stations, all of them were frozen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
all the stations, all the cars couldn't charge. Oh my God!
But this is the problem. Now, how many times have you heard me say this on our shows? The problem with our government is it's an all or nothing thing. And nothing in life is all or nothing. Listen, when you're a child, everything is black. Okay, everything is yes or no. Mom, can I go to the no? Mom, can I do yes? It's yes or no as a child. And that's the problem. They're thinking like children. You get older and you get to be like over 30 or 40. You realize it's all gray area. Okay, it's all gray area. So with gray area, you need options. all right? Because that's the way it has to work. There's no such thing as a one-way deal as an adult. It doesn't work like that. It's yin yang, and all good is bad, and all bad is good. So it's really like, okay, here's a great one, okay? So you get here's a great one. You get a headache. You go and get a Tylenol, right? You take the Tylenol, the headache goes away, but now your liver's fucked up. This is the way it works. There's always a negative to every positive, okay?
Yeah.
So what you got to do is you got to optimally make the odds even, okay? Optimally, and by that I mean the best they're going through all of this stuff with building electric cars. We have the best versions out there already. You know what they're called? They're called hybrids. Okay, we have hybrid cars that can do electric, gas, diesel, alcohol, and all of these other different types of fuels. And the truth of the matter is, we haven't even started delving into the real fuel that'll do. As far as running a house, as far as like running a city, the best method of energy, really and truthfully, is nuclear. Okay, that's running but obviously you're not going to run out and get a DeLorean that can go back in time with a Mr. Nuclear on the back.
Yeah, right.
So for a car, right? No, really, it's like, so for a car, what you have to do is you have to have what's called a hybrid. Okay, and a hybrid does both. In other words, so you use the electricity when you can, but if you wake up one morning and it's fucking 20 degrees out,
like they did in Chicago,
gas, right? You can then switch over to gas. And the truth is, while your gas engine is running, there can be a generator in there that the gas engine is actually running that will charge your electric side of the car. This is all very feasible.
Yeah. Did you see that? I couldn't believe it when I saw that in Chicago.
The guy's pushing his car. He's like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
I went to bed last night. I had 45%. I got nothing now.
Yeah.
Your batteries don't last. And it's funny because it's nothing new. Like if this was something where nobody ever saw a battery before, I get it. You're surprised that this shit happens. But this has been happening since the fucking 20s.
Well, like you say, anybody in their right mind, you go out in the middle of the winter to start your car don't start right.
And the other thing is, if let's say you have a couple of days off and it's cold out, you don't just stay in there. You go out and start your car every day so that you get that jolt of power into it and warm up, move it. This is the way it works. Anyway, okay, so I don't even know what, dude. I got so off the beaten path.
No, but you know what though? No, that was good though, because I meant to tell you that because all the stations that you go to charge your car at froze.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go. Yeah, I know. And then the other thing was, they like when they, well, dude, what about this? They put like, I want to say it's like $2.5 billion into charging stations, and they never built one of them. One of them. 3 years ago they put it in, and they never built one. So where did that 3.5 bill go, or 2.5 billion go?
That's another one.
I'd love to know that. All right, so let's get back to Racheal Maddows now.
Who's in charge of that?
I don't know. Probably de Blasio. No, he needed another. Yeah. He got 1.8. He needed another 2.5. Oh. Okay, so let's go back to Racheal Maddows. So right here, what you're saying is, the reason I'm saying this is, of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform. You're not giving him an unfiltered live platform. You're not giving him any platform, okay? No. So, and as I said, the way to do this is you put him on a delay, a 15, 20-minute delay. And if you don't like what he's saying, you take that out. But you don't want anybody to hear anything this man says, because he may actually inspire somebody. And your side does not inspire anybody. Okay, so I'm going to hit it now. Okay.
Let me tell you folks out there, that's not democracy. That's not journalism.
By no means. No, me. Journalists are not supposed to take a side, okay? They're supposed to report the facts, not take a side. This woman hates this man. She can in no way be called a journalist because she has no fairness to her methods. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to this. So we know where we are. There we go. It is not out of spite. Wait a second. It is not out of spite. It is not a decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit to laugh at it, not because you would even think about changing it. He's no different. So it's not like you're getting together once a week and going, well, he was nice on this day, so maybe we'll lift the ban. You know what I mean? It's never happening. All you're doing is getting together going, that's Hitler. That's Hitler. We're not going to let him speak.
Right.
And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision. It's the easiest decision you ever had to make. I don't know how you could say that. You hate the man. You hate the man. The only thing easier than this is when I'm hungry, should I eat? That's it. There's no other easy decision in your life. Okay, this is the easiest decision you will ever have to make. Everything this woman says is a lie. Literally, she wouldn't know how to tell the truth. No one on MSNBC does.
No, this is not journalism at all.
Yeah, it's not journalism.
Not democracy. It's not the way. You decide.
During the broadcast, Maddows stated MSNBC would be hurt if it were to air Trump's untrue statements. How? How would you be hurt? You could air the statements and say, MSNBC believes these to be untruths, to believe these to be falsehoods, false statements. You would actually look better because it would look like you actually did some fucking research and actually maybe looked into it instead of just blatantly saying it's Trump, it's a lie. And that's what you're doing. You're not a broadcaster. You're a personality and not a good one.
Right. Oh, definitely not. No, they don't know one thing about journalism.
No way.
There is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. That's
not true.
Wow.
You should broadcast them, and you should call them out when they're broadcasting. Now, so let me go a different route here. Okay, check this out. Wait, no. Now we're going to go the opposite. We're going to go 180 degrees on this. Okay. So now the people that you were trying to wait. So now the people you were trying to protect from his lies don't know what his lies are. If they hear him on another station, they're going to not know their lies. Correct? It's like trying to protect the child from molestation, right? By not telling them about it. By not telling them, don't tell them they could get molested, but let them go out and get molested.
Right.
You're basically turning around and saying, you can't. There's lies here. I want to protect you from, but I can't let you hear them. So if you hear them somewhere else, you'll believe.
And that's not for her to make a decision. That's for the people out there.
But okay, so let's put it this way, okay?
That's your choice, people out there. That's your choice to judge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kerry, if I was gonna, so listen. So let's say there was, a commercial that told you to go to an area that was really, really bad, okay? And I turn around, I see the commercial, and I go, I don't want to affect Kerry with this, and I don't tell you about it. And somebody else tells you about it, and you go to this area and you get hurt. So I protected you how? Now, the protection would be if I said, Kerry, you're going to see this commercial. It's for a place that you're going to make sound really great. Don't go there because it's not good. Don't go there, okay? Don't go there. If I did that, that's protecting you. Not telling you is not protecting you. She's acting like we're all fucking 3 years old, man.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
You're old enough to hear a curse. You know what I mean? Wow. Hold on.
Is a fundamental truth of our business and who we are. And so his remarks tonight will not air here live. We will monitor.
But why? Why would you air them and tell what the lie is?
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? Why would you air the remarks?
No, good one.
This is a lie.
That's a good point.
That's a lie. Like Oprah, you got to lie. You got to lie. You got to lie.
Right. Why don't you pinpoint it?
Right. Because they're not lies. You can only blanketly say they're lies and then never point out an example. That's all you can do. That's really all you can do. Because anything you bring up is not going to be a lie.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you think he's lying.
And let you know
hold on, what? Sked, what?
No, just say, you made a good point. If you think he's lying, why don't you pinpoint the lies and let us know?
Right.
Good point.
Call it a lie. Tell me what the lie is.
Right. If you know what it is, tell me.
Hey, I can turn around and say she's lying about everything, and in this case, she actually is. But I point out each one of her lies, just like I'm doing right now.
Right.
Any news that he makes.
Maddows wasn't the only host to deny viewers of speaking. And that host Jake Tapper interrupted the performance. I don't have a problem with that. If he interrupted it, it's fine. At least it was on. And people got to see it. I didn't see what he did, so I can't say if he interrupted and like said, we want to, put an exclusion in this because we think this was and then played the rest. I don't know. I can't say that. But at least he played it. That's the key. He actually played the thing. You know what I'm saying? And I give him credit for that because Tapper's, for a while he was actually coming around and getting a little more sensible. And I get him back. But at least he played it. She won't even play it, which means anytime somebody won't play something for an adult, they're hiding something. It's like, when you turn around to a kid and say, let me see what's in your hand, and they won't open their hand. You know what I mean? Yep. That's really what it is.
But I can't believe that they could get away with that. She should be fired for that.
Now listen to this here. Tapper began speaking over the 77-year-old as he was speaking about the border crisis. Now, come on. Who doesn't know that there is a border crisis? There is absolutely nothing this man could say that's a lie about it unless he says Biden's been doing a great job. What he actually said is Biden's been doing the worst job. I know, I saw this. Biden's been doing the worst job of any president in our history.
Yeah, he's destroying our country.
That's right. And if you don't believe that, okay, you don't believe that, let me tell you something. What Biden's doing right now is he's taking all of Trump's policies and he's reinstating them. These are ones that he took out the first day in office. The Houthi rebels.
Right.
They went into office. Trump had them as a terrorist, described as a terrorist organization. He changed that immediately. Now, after we've been attacked by them by God knows how many times, 5 times in 5 days, not including what happened before that. Now all of a sudden he's putting them back on that status, but he's doing it on a gentler scale. So if they start being nice, which nobody, no bully or nobody ever fought anybody became nice again, so they get close enough. Okay, it's called earning your trust, and then you fuck the guy over. It's absurd. If they get a little bit nicer, he'll take them off the list again.
Yeah, listen, the man is under their pocket.
Oh, absolutely. He's a rat.
He's got to be.
He's in the pocket of Iran. He's in the pocket.
He's got to be.
He's in the pocket of China. He's in the pocket of Russia. He's in the pocket of Ukraine.
He's got to be. I mean, how do you take them off the list, first of all, in the first place?
That's crazy. That's just crazy. And they're attacking our shoulders. Okay, it's soldiers. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to hit it again.
Yeah, well, someone's going to die.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's happened already. We just haven't heard about it.
Fucking say.
Country. I can't imagine why they think that's a good thing.
Donald Trump declaring victory with a historically strong showing in the Iowa caucuses. If these numbers hold.
How rude is that? How rude is that? What?
Right.
But it goes beyond that, okay? This is how worried they are about the man, that they can't let you hear him speak.
Right.
They can't let you hear him speak. I mean, how dangerous is this guy to their agenda? It's not the American agenda.
Oh, how dangerous. You ready? Did you hear it today?
What?
Yeah, Kamala Harris?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, she's frightened of the next election. She's frightened of Trump winning again.
She should, because she should be, and I'll tell you why. Her career is over. She is not. I'm not saying she's going to be poor. She's never going to be poor because now she'll write books and she'll do all of that stuff. But her career is done.
I get a kick out of her.
And she had what?
No, so one was at World War III when we're in wars, we're being attacked, but she's worried about him.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Oh,
somebody,
how sad is that?
No, well, you know what's really sad is like,
Oh,
you know,
man.
it's no different than them comparing everything to Hitler or Nazis. Everything they don't agree with is a Hitler and Nazi.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. She went on The View. She went on The View and she freaked out saying, Trump said he's going to be a dictator. I told you.
It was a joke. It was
I know.
a joke. They asked him, they said, Brett Baer asked him, said, are you
I
going to be
know.
a dictator? He said, here was his answer, and this is a quote. I'll
Yep.
be a dictator on the first day, where I'll start pumping fuel again,
Close the border.
close the border. He said, after that, I don't have time for it. Hang on.
Right.
I'm going to play this. Just watch this while I take care.
The biggest victory for a non-incumbent president in the modern era for this contest. A relatively subdued speech as these things go so far,
Pretty
although
sad.
here he is right now under my voice. You hear
How
him
rude that is.
repeating his anti-immigrant rhetoric.
How
Now-
rude that is, man.
I know that guy.
Wait. Let me just read this. Following the landslide victory in Iowa, Trump told Fox News Digital he was honored and invigorated. Check that out. God, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, that guy cracks up. That report right there said, under my voice.
Yeah. I mean, why would you have to do that? I just can't take these people. I don't know how anyone can look at these shows and go, "Wow, that was good." You know, it's like,
Right.
wow, that was good, man. They were
Roll,
just great reporters.
they get ignorance, hatred, and stupidity.
All right, I'm gonna take this down. I think I had enough of this. My blood pressure's too high right now.
Yeah, I can't believe, but I just want to tell the people out there, our audience, that that's not journalism. That's not democracy.
Absolutely not.
It's up to you to decide. Just like you go to the ballot box, it's up to you to decide. It's not up to the courts, like they're trying to keep them off the ballots in certain states,
They're
right?
treating you like 3-year-olds. How you cannot see this? I don't understand.
Right.
They're treating these people like this. They can't let you have information because you're not smart or trustworthy enough to know how to dissect it and get some information out of it.
Well, I get a kick out of them. I mean, they are delusional. Like, I couldn't believe her today, Kamala Harris. And she said she's frightened because he might win again. But meanwhile,
Like those diagrams. What are those Venn diagrams? Is that it?
Yeah.
I think that's what's called the Venn diagram.
yeah. Meanwhile,
She
we're
like-
getting part of World War III, and she's worried.
and now, not for nothing, but I don't know if you've been listening to the news, but it's exactly what I started months ago. What I said, how all of these wars started. The war started through the oil. If the oil had never been shut down,
Right.
Putin would have never gotten money. Iran would have never gotten where they are.
Right.
We would be in the situation we're in. Okay.
No.
What we did
Hell
was
no.
we sold everything, and now all of a sudden you're starting to hear everybody talk about it. Anyway.
Right. Yo, they're using our weapons they picked up in Afghanistan.
Did you see Daniel Penny? Did you see that guy Daniel Penny went up today to I think
Yes. Yep.
he was pleading not guilty or something today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like he's in jail, man. I really don't. What gets me about that, and I don't mean again, it really sucks because I hear how racially unfair the United States is to minorities, right?
No.
But he wasn't the only one holding this guy. There was 2 other guys holding him. One was Spanish and one was black. And
Right.
he was arrested, which I don't understand. Okay, granted, he had him around the throat, and I'll give you that. But the others held him still, so he could hold him if you want to get that.
Right. Right.
So they all should have been arrested. We have a rule that, like if someone dies during the commitment of a crime, okay, that anyone who's in that group is also responsible.
Right.
It's like let's say me and you are together and you shoot somebody, and we're together when it happens. I'm just as responsible as you are.
Right.
In that situation, unless I can prove that I couldn't stop you or whatever.
Right. Okay.
We're guilt by association, more or less.
No, it's very safe. Very safe.
It's absurd that this guy, and if I hear them turn around and say it's a tragedy for the Neely family, Neely is Daniel's Penny, the Neely family, the guy that got killed. It's not a tragedy for them, because if it was a tragedy for them, they would have taken care of him and he wouldn't have been on that subway. Okay,
Right.
So don't tell me it's a tragedy for somebody. I
And
treat
he was-
my dogs better. I treat my dogs better than they treat their family.
Oh,
Okay.
He was threatening people on the train. He was threatening children, women.
Children. I mean, but that's okay. That's okay. As long as
Right.
family
Right.
cares about them, that's it.
No, it's very sad what New York has become.
Kerry, I'm telling you honestly,
They don't go by the law.
No. Now it's it's how can we stay within the popular sect of people?
Right.
It's not what rule did you break. It's what does the people think. It's no different than like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to say the witch trials because it's actually those were more
Very sad.
more democratic. At least you had a shot at getting out of that. Here,
Right.
everything is guilt or innocent by social media.
Yep.
That's really what it is. If you can get enough people, like this Fannie Willis.
Oh, geez.
She goes into a black church and starts saying that the only reason that they picked out this one person was because it's a racial thing. If she had been another color, none of this would have.
Right.
He focused in on this one prosecutor that she hired. Well,
Right.
then when you fucked, okay, if you fucked the other two, they would have been looking at them too.
Right.
So what is it? I don't understand how can you separate that? There's two categories. One is
Right.
attorneys I fucked, and one is attorneys I didn't fuck. Two of them you didn't fuck, one you fucked. Who are they going to look at?
The one you fuck.
I mean, think about it.
Right. Right.
It's just absurd. Like she left out that one little detail. Like this is the one I went on the Caribbean cruise with on the taxpayers' money and paid him $650,000.
Yeah. To go after Trump.
$650,000. Come on, man.
To go after Trump.
And he ended up buying her some shit with it. So that looks even worse because that looks like money laundering. Like she gave it to him in order to circulate it back to her.
Yo.
People are just so stupid.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking amazing.
There's a couple others that also threw in the racial card on a few things.
Well, the one from Harvard, right? That lady Gay, she threw in.
Yeah, right. That's one of them also. Like she goes in there, she's like, well, if I hadn't been a woman of color, they would no. If you hadn't copied somebody else's work,
right?
If you were a student in the you would be college, and you would be blackballed from any other college because you're looking to do it.
Yep.
The way that it's a legal standpoint.
Yeah.
It's so insane. They really are. They come up with ridiculous excuses.
Yeah, they're delusional.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Say that in the right place. Like Fannie Willis, the great example. She's not going to turn around and say that, in a bowling alley.
Right.
There's a bunch of white people there. And they ain't going to believe it. But she's going to go to like some downtrodden church where everybody there feels like that it's a racial issue with because they're older and they feel
they're going to listen.
They live through whatever, and they're going to take her side point blank. And then once she gets to that point, it's just like I said in the last video, they'll tell two friends and they'll tell two friends.
Right.
And that's what I mean by where guilt by social media is. I don't mean necessarily social media. I mean by mass. In other words, by mass population. All you got to do. The greatest example of that really is George Zimmerman. If you remember George Zimmerman.
Yes.
Remember the one who killed Tyrone? Wait, what was his name? Trayvon. Right. Anyway, the same thing. All it took was someone getting to the media. And the man was proven not guilty, but that'll never matter because so many people believe he was guilty.
Right.
That he's guilty. So
that's it.
I don't know if he's still alive. I think he might have been killed. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm right or not, so don't quote me on that. I know something happened to him though. He was in trouble a few times with the law after that, like with his girlfriend. He had situations. But again, you get a lot of freaking nuts, man, after you become famous that are looking to make a name for themselves. And you get caught up in that. But he in reality, he did nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with walking behind somebody. There's nothing wrong. When you see somebody doing something wrong, like they say now, you see something, you say something. You got to get involved. Okay, it's just the way it is. It's at least for me, it would be. Anyway.
But nowadays, like you said, if you get involved, it might be a racist thing.
It's all, everything is racist, dude. Everything. I swear to
It's
God,
sad.
everything
It's very
in the
sad.
world is racist.
Right.
It's the only way people don't have to say, "Oh, I'm wrong." No, you're racist. You're racist.
Right.
It's not that I'm wrong. It's you're racist. But
No.
you just broke down that 2 + 2 is 5.
Yeah.
But you're racist because, and don't think I'm crazy about that, because math is now racist. Okay, if you look up is math racist, and you'll see like 15 articles on why math is racist. The only
Really?
thing that's actually a perfected science, which is math,
Wow.
and it's racist. You know, so everything is
No.
racist. That's the way it goes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No wonder why the
And
kids are
it doesn't matter.
failing.
The funniest part about it
Right?
is, well, I'm going to say something here, and you're going to think I'm crazy saying this, but the funniest part about it is, barring the idiots, and by idiots I mean the climate activists and all the lunatics, okay?
Oh yeah.
I'm saying the average citizen in our population, we were getting along great. Everybody during Trump, there was really no racial problems during Trump.
No.
That's the truth. The problem
That's right.
Trump, the problem you were having was mostly like an African American with a Chinese, or it would beat up a Chinese guy or something like that, or a woman, or you'd have somebody walking around like just like boxing somebody else. But even that wasn't the racist thing. They were just hitting whoever was available. I'm not saying that we didn't have any crime. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it was better, and race relations were better. Okay, because the African Americans were getting their unemployment level to a better level, actually the best in our history. Latin Americans, same thing.
Yep.
Everybody was kind of being treated the same, which is what equality is. And the left will never understand that, because
they don't want that.
Well, they think equality is giving more to balance for what happened in the past. The thing about that is we only live a certain amount of time, so the past is already dead. This is the present. And this is where you got to start. You start treating everybody equal from this moment on.
Right.
And that's all you can do. You can't do, the minute you start treating one segment better,
right,
you create racism no matter what. You can't turn around, like the best example is the weed. Okay, so they were like, we're going to give it to minorities because they've been unequally jailed for marijuana. No, but you're not getting it. Granted, I smoke marijuana, but if you were doing it at a time when it was illegal, you did something illegal. It was illegal. There's no retroactive.
Right.
It was illegal. You know what
nobody
I mean?
knows.
Sorry. Just
no, brother. Nobody knows what that word means, illegal.
Yeah, no, it's the equivalent of saying, like, well, if I make murder legal tomorrow, all the past murderers weren't murderers. You're wrong. It was illegal. And that's what it was based on, intent.
No, they don't know. Oh my God. They're insane.
The way life works, man. It really is so absurd.
We're dealing with. Listen, I got a question for you.
Sure.
What do you think it is? Let's ask our audience. What do they think it is? You ready?
Yeah.
Did you see now in California, Governor Newsom wants to ban kids under 12
football
for playing football tackle?
Right. Well, no, it's 12. Okay, so he wants to start banning under 6 now.
Right.
And then by 2029, have all kids under 12.
Okay.
Now, here's where the problem with that comes in. Now, remember before I said it's that all or nothing deal, and what they do is, and I've said this in the past, what they do is they don't think trajectorially. And what I mean by that is they see something and they're like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's jump on that, right?
Right.
And I'm going to show you why that's stupid, okay? And this is what they did with the EV, okay? They jumped on it, and now they're seeing all the problems.
Right.
Here's the problem with this, okay? Here's the problem with this. And
I mean, he's a kid.
To give you an example, I'm going to actually go back to the 1940s in a minute. But first, here's the problem with that. When kids are 6 and 7, their bones aren't as brittle as when they get older. So they're flexible. So when they get hit and stuff, they just kind of bend and they bounce.
Right.
And they're not, wait, let me just finish this, okay? Just please.
Right. You're right.
The other thing about it is they're not strong enough to hurt each other at 6 years old. They'll bump into each other, they'll get a bruise, they'll get a whatever. But they're not going to create serious, I mean, if they fall on their head, it's a possibility. But they could do that walking. So that has nothing to do with football. Right. So at 6 years old, they're going to bang into each other and they're going to learn how to protect themselves for
Right.
7 years old. Then at 7, when it gets a little harder, their bodies are going to get stronger, and they're going to learn how to protect themselves for 8 years old. But if you take all of that away, when they get in at 12 years old, their bodies are not going to know what's going on, and they're not going to be able to take the impact the same way, and they're not going to be able to avoid the injury as well. That's number one. Okay, number two, okay, I'll let you, and then I'll go into it, unless you want me to.
No, I was just going to say, so do you think that they're not getting hit as hard? You know, they're not getting tackled as hard.
In other words, at a 6-year-old level, you might have maybe 5 or 10 concussions at 1,000 kids, let's say.
Right.
Concussions where they went into the goalpost, or they no, you know what I'm saying? Like they ran and they hit the goalpost instead of something.
Right.
But it's not.
They have
hitting.
But they're protected. They have good helmets. They're protected.
Right. That's why I say it has to be something really, really solid, because another kid hitting them in the head is not going to do it. They're just going to fall sideways.
Right.
So if they hit the goalpost, you know, so I'm saying accidentally you might get 5 or 10 concussions. Right. Like out of 1,000 kids.
Right.
Now, my point was this also. They did a study a few years back, okay? And the study was injuries, overall head injuries of the 1940s, 1930s, back when they played with the leather helmet instead of the Rydell. Okay? Right. And what they found out was there were no head injuries, almost literally no head injuries, okay? No neck injuries. And the reason is nobody ran in with their head like this because they knew it wasn't protected. So they would take the shots here or take with the shoulder. So later on, when they got all of this massive gear, that's where spearing came in. You know what I'm saying? They were like, no spearing, no this, no that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of brought the injuries, because now you could fly full force and hit the other guy. Now, what that tells you is that them walking in at 12 and putting on all this gear, they're going to think they're what's the word I'm looking for? That they can't be beat. They just, you know, it's impossible. And that's where they're going to get hurt. If you start them at 6 and they realize if I hit them this way, this is what's going to happen. They're not going to that way. They're going to change.
Right.
It's time to allow them to learn the game.
Right. And that's my thing. Is that the kids that age, they're not hitting each other hard.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, you ever watch those little games when they play? They're tripping over their own feet.
Yeah, it's the difference between bumper cars and a real friggin' derby. You know, like a real Beckham derby. A real Beckham derby, people can die in. Bumper cars, nobody's dying. So you let the kid go play in the bumper cars, but it's not going to stick him in a derby car and let him go crash, you know, into other cars. You know,
and
there's
pretty
levels,
much
you know what I mean?
Pretty much the kids that were talking and the parents, they were against it.
Absolutely. It's none of their business. Listen, if I want to have my son take a Frisbee and throw it from his mouth, you know, like, and this is what he wants to do.
Right.
That's not their business. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You can't ban football. I mean, you could, you know, you could try to do it and you might be able to do it on an organizational level, but I guarantee you there'll be underground organizations playing football. All you're doing is creating a black market for gambling.
Right.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. Because now what'll happen is you'll have private leagues where people will just have their kids, because you can't stop somebody from playing football. You can stop them from organizing it, and then they'll do it privately, you know, with neighborhood kids and stuff.
Right.
But then you get into the gambling, and you get into this, and you get into that, and kids, and then you got to worry about how the kids are treated if they're gonna, you know, there's just a lot to it, man.
Right.
I can't see it happening.
I say leave them alone, but like you said, they're little, you know, and they learn, like you said, as they get older.
Anybody, you know, they're not able to hurt anybody. You know what I mean?
So listen, so audience, you out there, tell us, our viewers, let us know what you think of that.
Yeah, really. Also,
it's interesting.
Shows. Well, also, guys, there's a couple of shows we're thinking about doing, and I can't do them all. Okay, that's pretty, and I'm realizing that as I'm thinking of them. They're just like popping into my head, and I get really excited about it. So if you can, let me know which ones you're interested in. Okay, I'm going to run through a quick list right now. I want to do a weed show where we show like papers, bonds, maybe even set up like, you know, a delivery type service if I can find a reputable place to do it from. Or another one is a sports show, okay, which would be like 50-50. So, but what I mean by that is like some shows would be geared towards men, other shows would be geared towards, you know, I don't know. Let me change that. Some shows would be geared towards the more professional type, like watcher who knows, stats and shit like that.
Right.
The other part of it would be geared more towards the ones who don't know anything, kind of like me. Anyway, so you let me know if you like any of those ideas. Another one is, if you saw the last one we did, where we kind of ripped this girl apart, I really didn't mean it in a nasty way. She just really doesn't have a thought in her head, and she should be responsible about what she puts out.
I was doing a little reading over that, okay? And morning meant a very nice pleasure, like, and all that. And I read about the slaves and all this. It's just amazing how these people, where do they get their education?
I told you, no, it's not that, Kerry. It's not that. The girl is kind of cute, okay, in her own level. So she had some old guy sitting down with her on a stoop somewhere, and he turns around and he goes, and they were probably talking about reparations or some shit like that. And he turns around and maybe it was the morning time, and maybe she said to him, he goes, you know where that comes from, little girl? That comes from when the slaves used to get beat, and they were saying good morning, and they meant MOURNING. And in her mind, this light bulb went off, and she went, oh, shit, nobody knows this.
Yep.
So if I go on there, they're going to think that I'm the professor, and I'm intelligent, so I got to spread this quickly. And that's what she did. That's what it was about. You can tell by the way she says it. She says it very smugly.
It's just, like I said, to our viewers out there, all you got to do is just look it up, go read, go to the library, do the research yourself.
As far back as I could go, and listen, I'm not going to tell you that I spent a week trying to research this. I'm telling you, the furthest back I could go, that I found reference to it. Now, I found references all the way from, we're in 2024 now. I found references from 1940, from 1870, all the way back to Middle England, like 1450 or something like that. Middle England, I found references to it. And it had something to do with, I want to say serfs or something like that, where they kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They would wish the serfs a good morning, like a good morning, because they wanted to have a really productive,
productive day.
Really morning. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where it comes from. And that's before there was ever, slaves like in the 1600s. So I don't know. My problem is that they hear something and they want to sound smart, so they just regurgitate it. And whether it's a fact or not does not matter. Anyway, so anything else you got to say, my pal?
Nah, we're good, man. What do you think of we'll go to a little sports today. What do you think of the NFL playoffs so far?
Yeah, well, that's what I want Tony to come in. And by the way, guys, let me tell you, Tony's like one of the coolest guys going. He knows like a mega amount about sports. Okay, mega amount. Okay, he would blow Howard Cosell away. Okay, that'd be cool if you could teach him to do a Howard Cosell impersonation. Like, well, the people here are, what I mean? That would be really cool. Anyway, and I'd love to get him in on the show because I think you guys have a great personality. Today's his birthday, by the way, so if you could collectively give him a happy birthday, it would really be a nice thing. Doing the comments.
Yeah, not yet.
Happy birthday, Tony. That's Gary's son, by the way.
Yes.
And as I said, he's a really cool dude. Anyway, so I'm pretty much done. Again, you know the deal. If you need repairs and you're in Manhattan, Yorkville Repair is phenomenal. Derek McShane is the proprietor. You can find the number. You go on Facebook. He has his own Facebook page. Shriners. Who else, Gary? Shriners, St. Jude, Warriors. Anything like that. You get some money. Listen, it never hurts to be able to charitable. You know what I mean? I'm not saying take food out of your own mouth, but it doesn't hurt to be a little charitable. I like to do it like, I kind of do like a $10 shot to, I think it's St. Jude's through, what is it? Petco, through Petco. Is it Petco or is it? Yeah, Petco. I'm not sure if it's Best Buy or Petco, one of them two. I do it like twice Petco because I do it like twice a month, and that's when I go pick up their treats. So, and that's what they ask for. They ask for $20 a month. So I do 10 on one day and 10 on the other, and I don't need the blanket. I'll be okay.
Yeah, really. As you can see, I don't need one.
No, I don't need the blanket. They can give that to somebody else. Anyway, so guys, just open your heart. If you got some change, throw it their way. I mean, they're good people. They don't charge a dime.
No.
Wounded Warriors, it basically adapts people's houses to fit their
Yep.
handicapped needs to make them more handicapable.
Right.
Guys,
Right.
we love you, man. We think you're wonderful. If you watch us, we really appreciate it.
Yes.
You know, and please
Good
keep
luck.
it up. I would
Be
ask
safe.
this.
Stay warm.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you have any sort of social media pages, please share it. Please share it. We'd love to get some more viewers in here. If at some point we could start even making a little bit of money with this, it'd be nice because I got to get some equipment and I can't keep sinking money into it. I'm going to be honest with you. So, you know, if at some point we can monetize this in some way, I don't even know how to do it. If there's somebody out there who knows how to do that sort of stuff or can produce
What we're
the show
saying.
for us.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, if there's a producer out there, dude, we're willing to pay. I mean, it's just we're not gonna, you know, in the beginning, obviously, if you know,
Right.
do a minimum amount. But as it grows, we'll all grow together. If you know, if we can figure out a way to make the show good.
Right.
Anyway,
The American way, baby.
Kev, nice seeing you, buddy.
Yeah. The American way, baby. All right. Listen,
Say
viewers,
good night, Gary.
everybody be safe out there. Stay warm.
Say good night, Gary.
Good night, Gary. Talk to you soon.
Later.